Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our Tuesday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So once again, welcome everyone. So last time we were discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, text number 8 through 14 we discussed in the last session. So Lord Krishna is speaking about how to attain the Supreme, Bhagavad Prapti. And how one can attain the Supreme? If somebody remembers Krishna. So if somebody remembers Krishna at the end of their life, at that time, by just remembering Krishna, they can attain to the Supreme. So we discussed about the law of last thought. And Krishna says, if somebody mold their lives by always remembering me and continuing their activities in that spirit, in that consciousness, then at the end of their life, they will be able to remember me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmare yuddhacha. So Krishna is telling, engage in all your activities while remembering me. And for one who remembers Krishna without deviation, Krishna says, I am very easy to obtain. So somebody who is remembering Krishna with ananya chetasaha, with undivided attention. So ananya means na anya, unalloyed, undeviating. So remember me always and then do your activities. So what does it mean, remember me always? 24/7? Is that 24/7? Or remember me every day? So we can say somebody who is doing their activities while they are focusing on their work, at that time they may not be exactly remembering Krishna all the time. But what does it really mean when Krishna says always remember me? That remember me every day. In that way you engage in your activities and one can definitely attain to the Supreme. Now text 15 onwards, now Krishna is going to talk about why it is important to remember Krishna. What is the impetus of fixing the mind on Krishna? What is the benefit? In one sense, we can say, what is the Falashruti? So Krishna talks about text 15, which is very, very important verse. We quote this verse so many times. So text 15, Mamupetyah punarjanma dukkhalaya ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gatah. So Krishna says, somebody who remembers me, what will happen to him? That Mahatma, that rare soul, that advanced devotee, they attain to the supreme destination. Some siddhi, they attain to the highest perfection of life. What is that highest perfection of life? Paramam gataha. They attain to the highest destination, the supreme destination. Mamupetyah punarjanma. After attaining to that supreme destination, after attaining to me, they do not take birth in this material world. And what is the characteristic of this material world? Dukkhalaya ashashvatam. This material world is full of misery. Dukkhalaya ashashvatam. It is temporary. So, because one never returns after he attains to the supreme destination. So that is the reason why one should remember Krishna. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, if one does not remember Krishna, then one have to come back to this material world, which is full of miseries, which is temporary. But if you think of me, then you don't have to worry about that. Okay, for example, the jailer tells the prisoner, okay, if you behave very nicely in the jail, follow all the rules of the jail, have a good conduct in the jail, then I can give a recommendation to the higher authorities and you may be discharged from here early. Okay, so the jailer is giving a recommendation to the prisoner how to act in the jail so that he can be released from the jail earlier, quicker. But if the prisoner, rather than getting released from the jail, he is working towards maintaining a comfortable situation in the jail, is that a very intelligent proposition? Okay, the prisoners, they may go on a strike in jail. Oh, we want nice arrangements in the jail. We want nice meal in the jail. Okay, हमें भी अच्छा खाना चाहिए जेल में. So they are even going on strike in the jail to get comfortable situation in the jail. But the intelligent proposition is they work towards getting released from the jail. So same way in this material world, people work hard to become comfortable within this material world, to become happy within this material world, which is Krishna is saying, Krishna is giving his stamp. Okay? Krishna has put his stamp on the paper that this material world is dukkhalaya. This is full of misery. Another example is if somebody, a patient goes to the hospital, now he is staying in the hospital, treatment is going on, he is suffering from certain disease. Now the doctor tells the patient, if you take proper treatment, if you take proper precautions, then you don't have to stay here in this filthy place longer. Okay, because in hospital the environment is all the time there is so much foul smell of the medicines and all these things. All the people are screaming and somebody is crying because of pain, somebody is not able to sleep properly. So doctor may tell the patient, you take the proper treatment, you follow the proper precautions, you will be discharged soon. Otherwise, you have to stay here longer. Okay, so same way Krishna is telling that in this material world, you remember me, in that way you do your activities so that you can be freed from this material world. You can come to your real home. And that real home is the supreme destination, Parampada, Paramam Gataha. So, first of all, we have to agree, right, that yes, this material world is miserable. And Krishna, as I said, is giving his stamp. Okay, this place is miserable and it is temporary. Even if somebody thinks, no, 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 there is no misery. Why you are so pessimistic? Why you are so sadist person? Miseries also come, that is part of life. Yes, those are part of life. Even though somebody may claim, I am very happy in this world. And that's why Krishna says, Ashashvatam. That is temporary. Even though somebody may be feeling some happiness at some point of time, but that happiness does not stay forever. And it is true with misery also, that misery also come and go. So in this world, we are all going through our karmic reaction. And sometime because of our good karma, we may be having some happiness. And because of our bad karma, there is some misery also along the way. So when somebody is happy, somebody is enjoying in this world, what is happening at that time? They are exhausting their good karma, right? They are exhausting their good karma, and in that way, they are having some happiness in this world. So actually, when there is happiness in this world, when somebody is enjoying in this world, they should feel sad about that. Why? Because my good karma is getting exhausted. And when they are feeling some misery in this world, rather than getting sad, they should feel happy about that. Why? Oh, I am exhausting my bad karma. So it should be other way. When people are having all good time, they are very happy. They don't know we are exhausting our good karma, and sooner some other misery is coming along the way. So when there is happiness in world, one should become actually sad about that. And when there is really misery, one should feel happy about that. Okay, my bad karma is getting exhausted, which is good. So the point I'm saying is we should at least come to this understanding that yes, this material world is full of misery. And what are the different miseries? Janam mrityu jara vayadhi. Dukkha dosha anudarshana. So Krishna says one should always see the fault in these four things: birth, death, old age, and disease. These all come with some faults. And then Adi Bhautik Klesh, Adhyatmik Klesh, Adi Devik Klesh. There are the Trayatap, the threefold miseries. And we know during the COVID time, people were locked down in their own houses. Right? So some of the epidemic come, people cannot even go out in the public. So that is also misery. And some people may say, why is God partial? Why does God do that sort of things? Actually, this is not what God is imposing upon us. This is because of our own bad actions within this material world. When people exploit the nature, then the material nature retaliates. So nobody can escape these problems of life. Even though somebody thinks, oh, I want to be good. If I am good, then good will come back to me. Is it really true in this material world? If I do always just good, that nothing bad can happen to me? Even though we try our best to be good in this world, but there will be other people who will provoke us to act in certain negative ways, or some provoke us to end up committing something wrong. And I had given the example earlier: if somebody enters into a coal mine where everything is black, what is the chances of you coming out of that coal mine without getting one single black spot? It's not possible. So if somebody says, oh, I am a good person, so nobody will do bad to me, it is like saying I am vegetarian, so the bull will not come and harm me. A bull is not going to say, if there is a mad bull chase running around here, the bull is not going to say, oh, this is vegetarian person, I am not going to harm him. So same way in this material world, even though you try to be good, something or other will provoke to put us into some negative situation. And is there anybody in the world who is free from problems? Okay, once a person, he went to the doctor, and he was telling the doctor, I have a lot of stress, so much of anxiety. And doctor says, see, you go see the circus. In the circus, the joker, he does so many funny things and he will make you laugh. And the patient said, actually, I am that joker of the circus. Even the joker, somebody may think, oh, this joker is so funny. The joker himself is also miserable, actually. Outside, he may be putting a laughing face, but inside, he is also having so many problems. So, from the poor to the richest person, nobody can claim I am free from suffering. Okay. Somebody may have all the luxuries of life, but then some other little problem comes and he cannot enjoy that luxury. Example earlier I had quoted once is, if somebody is driving in a Lamborghini, okay, all of a sudden a phone call comes. Sir, your son had an accident and he died in that accident. We want you to come and recognize the body. Now, what will happen to this person? Even though he has all the luxuries, he was driving a very comfortable, most luxurious car, let's say, and then all of a sudden this problem comes. This is mental problem, the anxiety. So nobody in the world can claim I am free from misery, because everybody has to go through this adi bhautik, adi atmik, adi devik klish. Okay, all the luxuries of the world cannot help the person escape these problems. Like if somebody has a pot of kheer, okay, very nice kheer cooked, and if somebody in that nice pot of kheer adds little bit of sand, mixes the sand in that nice pot of kheer, then will it give the same taste? So same way, somebody may have all the luxuries of the life, but because here and there some problems come in life that make the life so miserable, and one is not able to enjoy those luxuries. Some people may say, yes, oh, it's part of life. Why you are being so escapist, so sadist, always talk about the problems? The really the If we really see, who is escapist, who is trying to see the problem and finding the solution for that problem, or somebody who is just ignoring the problem, who is ignoring the root cause of the problem, who is an escapist? So it's just like the ostrich who hides his head into the sand when he see an eagle coming to snatch it. Just putting the head down in the sand, will it save the problem? Will it save him from the clutches of the eagle? So the people of this world, they say, oh, let's why to talk about all the problems of life? Why to talk about this situation that this material world is dukhalaya, shashvatam? Why to talk about that? Let's just enjoy the life. It's a part of life. But what Krishna is telling here is you don't have to be here. You can find a solution. And I am proposing you a solution. You act in this world by always remembering me. And in that way, you can come to me. So, but people are always trying to find alternate options in this world to become happy. One very wonderful example to understand is, let's say if one of your friend, he is going to a mountain climbing, okay, on a very rocky, thorny mountains. He is going for mountain climbing. And while climbing the mountain, now he happens to be barefoot also. While climbing the mountain, something pricks into his foot and he is crying. And the local person, somebody local resident there in that area, he comes and he helps that person, helps your friend. He may do the bandage and all. Again he walks few further step, again something else pricks into his foot and again he is crying. And next time that person may tell him, hey, please put on shoes, okay, that will help you to cross over this problem, okay, this rocky mountains. And then again, if while wearing foot also he tries to climb, then he trips over something and falls down. And then again that person may come and help him, and this time this person may try to tell him, again putting the bandage, asking him to wear nice shoes. Is that the solution to this problem? Or he should tell him, oh, you find a different way, why you are trying to go through this very rough bad road? There is another way where you can take that route and reach your destination. So people in this world also just trying same thing, right? Doing the bandage, trying to find some alternate options to become happy in this world, rather than finding an alternate option, alternate route. Is there something else which can help me avoid these problems altogether? And that is what Krishna is telling here. And these materialist people think, oh, these spiritual people are crazy. And spiritual people know that material people are crazy. Eh, materialist people, they are crazy. So materialist may think spiritual people are crazy. Spiritualist may think materialist people is crazy. But in reality, who is crazy? Okay. Materialist thinks spiritualist is crazy, but spiritualist knows for sure that materialist is crazy because they have gone through that, they have done that, they have realized that. Just like a doctor in the um, what do you call mad hospital, Pagalkhana. The doctor knows that patient is crazy, and the patient may think doctor is crazy. So who is really crazy among them? The patient, but he also thinks that no, doctor is crazy. But doctor knows for certain that patient is crazy. So same way in this world, all these materialist people, they think, oh, what is the use of this spiritual life? We are, if we are also going through suffering, these devotees, don't they go through problem? They also have problems in life. Yes, they may also, the devotees, the practicing devotees may also have problem in life, but they are working towards finding the permanent solution to that problem, and the materialist person has not even taken a step to solve their problems. So that is the difference. Just like the fan, when the fan is going on at full speed and you switch off the fan may still be rotating, but the speed is getting slower and slower and slower, and finally it will come to rest. So same way in the life of devotees also, we may see still, yes, there are certain problems, but for the devotee, that is a situation like switching off the fan. Still, yes, their problems may exist in the life, but they have taken to a path which will resolve all their problems, all their miseries of life, and they will attain to the highest destination, which is free from all the problems. So, how people try to solve their problems in this material world, their method of solving problem is forget it, right? Try to forget the problem. And to forget the problem, they take shelter of so many temporary things. Somebody may take shelter of alcohol, somebody may just watch TV and try to forget his problem, somebody is smoking, using drugs, somebody, while they are in so much of anxiety, they overeat, they just eat too much. Somebody, to forget their problems, they will go do over shopping. So people take to these different methods to forget their problems, to solve their miseries of life. And but for a devotee, how do they solve the problems of life? They want to work at the root cause of the problem. Okay, and what is, how to understand what is the root cause of the problem? Forgetfulness of Krishna. That is the root cause of the problem. So the devotee thinks, I want to always remember Krishna, so all my problems may be solved. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, there is beautiful prayers by Kunti Devi. And what is Kunti Devi praying to Lord Krishna? Vipadah santu tah shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yat apunar darshanam. Let there be more and more problems. Vipadah santu tah shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru. Because wherever there are problems, then we are able to remember you. And in that way, we can become free from the problems. So Kunti Devi is praying, let there be problems in my life. Why? Because whenever there are problems, we always remember you and you are always there to help us. So nobody want problem. We all want happiness, wealth, right? People pray for that. Sukh sampatti ghar aave, kashtamite tanaka, om jai jagadish hare. So people pray to the Lord, let there be no problem, no misery, let there be happiness and wealth. But generally, when there are problems, then people take deeper shelter of Krishna, deeper shelter of God. Maybe there are certain people, they turn away from God when there are problems in life, but in general principle is people remember God when there is problem in life. So it is not that we have to ask for problems in life. Problems are anyways there, but what we can ask is strength to face those problems, intelligence to understand the plan of the Lord. So we can pray to the Lord, please give me strength to go through these problems, these struggles of life. Please give me enough intelligence so I can understand your plan. And there is a beautiful saying actually, Dukh daru sukh roga bhaya. That when there is misery in life, that is like the medicine. And when there is happiness in the life, that is like a diseased condition. Why? Because in happiness, people forget God, people forget Krishna. In in the problem, then people remember Krishna. So dukh daru, sukh roga bhaya. So Kunti Devi is saying, let there be more and more problems in my life. Now, is Kunti really asking for vipatti? Is she really asking for problem? Is she asking for vipatti or sampatti? In real sense, if we say she is really asking for sampatti, not vipatti. Why? What is the biggest sampatti? The biggest wealth? Taking darshan of Krishna. What could be better sampatti than taking darshan of Krishna? So sampatti of Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, ityadi. So Kunti Devi is saying, let there be problem because then you are always here to help us. So we can take your darshan. So really Kunti Devi is saying, I want to see you always. In real sense, problem is punarbhava. Coming back again and again in this material world, taking birth again and again. But by taking darshan of Krishna, one will be relieved from this punarbhava situation, from the bondage of birth and death. And another beautiful saying in Hindi is, भगवान का स्मरण ही सबसे बड़ी संपत्ति है, भगवान को भूल जाना ही सबसे बड़ी विपत्ति है. हनुमान जी says, कह हनुमंत विपत्ति प्रभु सोई, जब तब सुमिरन भजन न होय. So Hanumanji is telling Lord Ramachandra, what is the real problem, real misery of life is when there is no remembrance, when there is no kirtan, the chanting of your holy name. कह हनुमान विपत्ति प्रभु सोई, जब तब सुमिरन भजन न होए. So what is the impetus for us to remember Krishna? Why? What is the encouragement so that we can become free from the bondage of this material world? That is the benefit of remembering Krishna. We don't have to come back again and again in this material world, which is full of misery, which is temporary in nature. And then Krishna further clarifies, no matter what in this whole material creation, in this whole material universe, all the places are of misery. Because people may think that, okay, maybe earth, there is misery there. What about I will go to Swarga? In Swarga, there is so much happiness. I will go to even higher planet, Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Brahmalok. There will be a lot of happiness there in higher planets. So Krishna says, no, forget about that. Don't be mistaken. All the places in this material world, from the lowest planets to the highest planets of Brahma, all are full of misery. Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna mam upetya tu kaunteya punar janmana vidyate. So Lord Krishna is now clarifying in the next verse. He says, from the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So one should not be mistakenly thinking that, okay, right now I'm suffering. I will do some punya, I will go to Swarga, and then in Swarga there will be a lot of happiness. Krishna is saying, forget, don't be mistaken. There is misery in all the planets. Not only Earth, but all planets within this universe are full of misery. And there is repeated birth takes place. Even though somebody goes to Swarga, your punyas will be exhausted. Kshine punyam mrityu lokam vishanti. Then somebody will again fall down into his lower planets. Somebody come down to Earth. Again, they go through that same cycle of working hard. So, first of all, this verse very clearly it mentions that yes, life exists everywhere in all planets. Okay, it's not that life is only on Earth. Yes, life is there in all the planets. Different situations of life are there on various planets. Okay, so some people who are too much into science. These days, there is another religion called science. They just believe in science. They don't believe in any other religion, any other scriptural injunctions. They say science is everything. And there is only life here on Earth. All other planets, there is no life. We went to moon. We could not find life there. We have gone to another planets. We have not seen life there. No, life is there in all the different planets. It exists in various other forms. And if somebody want to live in those situations, somebody have to acquire a particular type of body which is suitable for that circumstance. Like if somebody want to go in space, they have to put a space suit, right? You cannot just go in space in your regular these clothing. You have to put on a space suit to be able to live for certain amount of time in that environment. Same way, if somebody want to go deeper in the water, they want to dive inside the water, okay, and live there for few hours, just for few hours, they have to put on a diving suit, okay. Just in your regular clothing, you cannot go under the water and stay there more than few seconds. So to go in the space, they need a space suit. To go in the down the water, they need a diving suit. So same way, to live on another planets, there is a particular type of body. So that's why there are 8.4 million species of life. And those 8.4 million species of life does not mean just the species which are present on Earth. See, there are various other species of life which are present in another planetary system. On the higher planetary system, the bodies are not made of 70% of water content. There may be bodies which are made of 70% of air content. That's why we cannot see those forms with our material eyes, with our present eye situation. So life exists on all planets. And if somebody thinks after death, I will go to Swarga because in Swarga there is so much happiness. Everybody plans to go to Swarga. Nobody thinks that they may go down also to the hellish planets. Based on their karma, everybody thinks I am eligible to go to Swarga. In the newspapers in India, there are so many obituary ads there in the newspaper. Such and such person, he Swarg se dhar gaye. Because everybody want happiness, not knowing that even in the higher planets there is no permanent happiness. Shine punne mrityu lokam vishanti. Even Indra's life is not permanent. Even Brahma's life is not permanent. Once Indra saw a huge line of ants coming towards him, and he asked the Lord, what is this? What is this line of ants? And Lord said, actually, all these are the previous Indras. They have been Indra in previous lives, and they are still hoping that they will come back to this position of Indra. So they all, this whole big line of ants was coming towards Indra. So people artificially, they try to go to another planets by means of some material arrangements, like going to different planets with spacecrafts. Even in the Vedic times earlier, even in the time of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, there have been people who tried to go to higher planets by material arrangement. One of the example is Ravana. Ravana, he was trying to build a staircase to go to Swarga. He said, I will build a staircase to go to Swarga. Now, for Swarga, going to Swarga, there is a natural process. If somebody has enough pious credit, they will be uplifted to Swarga in their next life. But he said, I don't care about this pap and punya. Even the most sinful person, I will make him eligible to go to Swarga by building this staircase. And another example is Trishanku. Trishanku wanted to go to Swarga and he approached first Vashishta Muni. He denied, then he approached Vishwamitra. Please send me to Swarga. And Vishwamitra was trying to send Trishanku to Swarga based on his yogic power, mystic powers. He was lifting up Trishanku to send him to Swarga. And as the demigods saw Trishanku coming up to the Swarga, they said he is not eligible to enter into Swarga. He doesn't have enough pious credit. Actually, he has sinful credit. So he cannot enter into Swarga. They were sending him, pushing him down. Vishwamitra was sending him up, pushing him up, and they were pushing him down. So Trishanku was hanging in between. And then finally Vishwamitra said, okay, you do not allow Trishanku to come to Swarga. I will create a separate planet for him where all the other opulences of Swarga are there. So Vishwamitra, based on his mystic power, he created another new planet. That is also one of the mystic power, one of the siddhis. But in that also what happened? Was he able to enjoy? He was hanging upside down there. So to be able to get happiness either in this world or in higher planets, one need to accumulate enough pious credit. And that pious credit is not permanent, ashashvatam, right? That will exhaust. So Lord Krishna is telling in the whole material creation, even the higher planets, there is also misery. There is also repeated birth and death. Even Indra's position is not permanent. His life is not permanent. Even Brahma's life is not permanent. And then Lord Krishna gives us some time calculation. What is the duration of Brahma's day and Brahma's night? And how the creation takes place in the day of Brahma and it annihilates at the night of Brahma. So text 17 to 19, Lord Krishna is describing about the duration of, first of all, Brahma's day and this whole process of creation and annihilation. So text 17, Lord Krishna says, by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities, they become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifested state again. And again, when Brahma's day arrive, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they all helplessly annihilated. So Brahma's one day. How long is Brahma's one day? 1,000 ages taken together. So what are these 1,000 ages? We know there is cycle of 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this cycle of 4 yugas is called one Mahayuga. And Lord Krishna is telling 1,000 such Mahayugas taken together, they form the duration of Brahma's one day. So what is the duration of this one Mahayuga itself? Kali Yuga, the duration of Kali Yuga, so a little time calculation, right? To make it easy, Brahma's one day, how long is Brahma's one day? 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or the 1,000 Mahayugas. And what is one Mahayuga? The combination of Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. The duration of Kali Yuga is 4.32 lakh years. Okay, 4,32,000. And double than that is Dwapar Yuga, 8,64,000 years. Triple than Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga, 12,96,000 years. And 4 times Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga, 17,28,000 years. Now, if you add all these together, Kali Yuga, double than Kali Yuga is Dwapar Yuga, triple than Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga, 4 times Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. So adding all together, it becomes 4.32 million years. Now, 1,000 times that, 1,000 times one Mahayuga, that is called one Kalpa, Brahma's one day. So duration of Brahma's one day, 12 hours, okay, not 24 hours, 12 hours. That is 4.32 billion years. That is the duration of Brahma's 12 hours, one day. And equal duration is Brahma's night also. So Lord Krishna said, 1,000 ages together make the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So 4.32 billion years is Brahma's 12 hours. And at the beginning of Brahma's day, this creation takes place, all the living entities which are in the unmanifested state. What is that unmanifested state? So basically, at the night of Brahma, all the living entities again enter into the body of Mahavishnu. That is the called unmanifested state. And when Brahma's day again start, then all the living entities again are put back into the new creation based on their previous conditioning, previous karma and desires. So they are again sent into this material world. So Krishna is saying again, when the Brahma's day starts, all these living entities come into this manifest state. At the end of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So Brahma's day is such a huge duration, and Krishna is saying even Brahma's duration is also temporary. His position also is not permanent. His life is also not permanent. Brahma lives for such 100 years of life. And if we see Brahma's duration of life, how much is that? It accounts for 311 trillion 40 billion years. Okay, so it's mind-boggling how big that duration is. So even Brahma dies, then what is our position? We are so insignificant, still we think we are the controller, we are the owner, we are the proprietor. And still there is so much of ego, still there is so much of pride. Everybody sitting in their homes, they think, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I am such and such, I am such a significant person. So even though we are so insignificant, but because of this false ego, we think ourselves to be so special. Now, text 20 to 22, Krishna is telling that this material world is full of problem, but beyond this material world, there is another place which is full of enjoyment. Okay, so that is the contrast between this material world and the spiritual world to give a inspiration for somebody to aspire for that spiritual world which is full of happiness. Okay, so now in this verse Krishna is talking about there is yet another unmanifested nature which is eternal, which is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter, and that destination is the supreme, and it is never annihilated. So this material world, it gets created, it gets annihilated. But that place which is eternal, there is no annihilation. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So now Krishna is giving the description of the spiritual world. So in this material world, what was the characteristic? This material world is temporary, it is full of misery. In this material world, there is always problem. There is so much of hatred, violence, envy, okay, on the name of gaining power, politics. There is always so much of wars going on. And even if we see earlier in India, even among the Hindu kings itself, they were also having wars. Why? To increase their territories, to increase their kingdom. So there is always war, even in the within the same religion. Then there are sampradayik violences. Right? If we see in the current times, in last 100 years, there is so much of violence going on the name of Hindu-Muslim violence, on the name of different religions. There is so much of land grabbing. There is forcing one's belief on another. Okay, on the name of minorities, people try to capture other things. There is so much of problem on the name of um, Arakshan, what do you call reservations. People are trying to destroy the Sanatan Sanskriti. As so much of the violence has happened over the last 50, 70, 80 years also on the name of these religious practices and all. Now, If that situation continues for another 25, 30, 50 years, what will happen? The Hindus, the Sanatanis may become minority, and people may not even have the freedom to go to their own holy places, tirth places. We talk about Ayodhya, we talk about Mathura, Vrindavan. If we really see how this situation is getting worse and worse day by day, over the next 25, 50 years, it may become even more worse, and we may not even have the opportunity to visit our own holy places. That's why people need to understand the situation. But the problem, what we are talking about is, in this material world, there is always problems are there. Problems of hatred, violence, envy. And what is the root cause of these problems? Because people do not understand the values of their dharma, the Sanatan Dharma, their Sanskriti. People are giving up their own cultures and their own values, and they are looking towards the West for Western culture and Western values, which actually there are no values. So people are behaving at the level of animals. Sometimes people think, oh, what is the problem in animal life, in animal form? One person, he was challenging Prabhupada. Oh, I'm ready to become a dog. I don't mind being a dog in my next life. And Prabhu said, yes, you have my blessings. You can become a dog. So people don't even think a problem in the animal form. And sometimes people may think God is partial towards different people. For some people, people, he is providing the benefits, and for some people, he is punishing them. Like the story of Devi Devatas. Sometimes the demons, they blame the God, that God is always partial towards the Devatas. He is always taking their side. And when the demons blame that Lord is partial to everybody, and to prove that point, once Lord arranged for a big meal, he invited everybody, the Devatas also and the demons also. Everybody come and participate in this big feast I have arranged. So he had put up one big room, and all the tables are there in the middle. So much of food is kept there. So in one room there is whole arrangement done for the demons. In the another room there is whole arrangement done for the devatas. So all the demons in one room, they have assembled together. They are standing on surrounding the tables. And Lord says, all these preparations are there for you to enjoy, but I have one condition. Okay, nobody can bend their arms. You have to keep your arms straight. Nobody can bend their elbows. So now you can eat as much as you want. Only condition is you cannot bend your elbow. Now to take the food from the table to put to your mouth, you have to bend your arm, right? You have to bend your elbow. But the condition is you cannot bend. So these demoniac people, they want to enjoy for themselves, and there is whole chaos in that room. Everybody is trying to put their mouths in the all these different plates and bowls, and behaving like lower than animals. Whereas on the another room where this whole table is there, nice feast is there, and all the devatas, they have assembled there. Same condition. You can eat as much as you want. You cannot bend. And what was the scene there? So they are taking the food, and they are putting into the mouth of person in front of them. So they don't have to bend. To feed other person, you don't have to bend your arm. But if you want to feed yourself, then you have to bend your arm. So these demons, they wanted to enjoy for themselves. They did not think of that point. Or let me serve other person. And if everybody does like that, then everybody can become satisfied. So these demons were going through all this nasty scene, crazy scene, that they demigods, they were nicely feeding each other. So that is the difference. God says, I'm not partial to anybody. God is not partial to anybody. It's our mentality, our behavior, how we act in this world, which causes problem for ourselves. So Krishna says, yes, this material world is full of misery, but beyond this material world, there is another place which is permanent, which is eternal. That place is never annihilated. And what is the size of that place? Actually, if we see, material creation is only 1/4 of the whole creation. 3/4 is the spiritual world. Only 1/4 is the material creation. And what are the characteristics of that spiritual world? It is never destroyed. And in that spiritual world, actually, everybody looks like the Supreme Lord. They all have a four-handed Vishnu form. In all the Vaikuntha planets, everybody has a four-handed Vishnu form. They all look like Lord Vishnu. It doesn't mean they all are Vishnu. They have the forms like Lord Vishnu, but they have difference in power. Right? Their powers are not like Lord Vishnu. Just like in a country, all the citizens may look like the prime minister of the country, especially somebody who comes from a different planet or a different species of life. For them, all the humans may look like same. So all the people may look like the prime minister, the president of the country, but they are not really same in power. Okay, and same way for somebody, let's say from a different culture, all the people from another culture who have a particular style of dressing, they may all look same. For example, when I did my engineering from a college which is more affiliated to kind of a Sikhism. Okay, that was affiliated to the one of the kind of a Gurudwara, and in that most of the students were Sikhs also. First day when I went to the college and I saw all these Sikh people, all the Sikh students in my class. For me, everybody was same. I could not differentiate who is who. It took me few weeks to a month actually to start remembering the faces and the names. That oh, this person is this person is earlier. For me, everybody was same only. So that is the point I'm saying. Right? For a different species, another species people all may look like the same. So somebody may think everybody looks like the prime minister, but they are different from prime minister. They are different in powers. So same way in spiritual world, everybody looks like Lord Vishnu. They all have four-handed forms. They dress like yellow garments. They are garlanded. So all the trees in the spiritual world, they are kalpa vriksha. They are desire fulfilling trees. Somebody want to eat banana, they may produce banana. Somebody want to drink banana shake, they may produce banana shake also. All the houses are made of pearl, diamond, touchstone, gold. Hey, in the material world, we know getting few grams of gold is so much problem. These days, 1 tola, 10 gram is what 60, 70,000 rupees. And in spiritual world, the houses are made of gold. There are gold pillars there. The flowers in the spiritual world, they blossom fully with the desires to serve Krishna. And when Krishna look at these flowers, they blossoms fully. In spiritual world, everybody has only one task, to serve Krishna, and there is no competition, there is no rivalry, there is no envy. A bumblebee is buzzing to serve Krishna, glorifying Krishna. That time the other birds, they become all very quiet, even though like the peacock, the cuckoo bird, who are who have very melodious voice, even they become very quiet, and they think this bumblebee which has gone up to the garland which is worn by Krishna, they smell the garland of Krishna, and this bumblebee is coming from there and glorifying Krishna, speaking some Krishna katha. So they are all hearing the buzzing of the bumblebee. In material world, we know there is so much of rivalries, competition, envy. There is rivalry among equals or with the superiors. But in spiritual world, There is no rivalry, there is no competition. Everybody want to serve Krishna better than others, but still there is no competition and no rivalry. See, even in this material world, we can see the glimpse of the spiritual world, that when Shukdev Goswami was given the seat to speak Bhagavatam, even in that assembly, Vyasadev is there, Narad Muni is there, all other learned sages are there, but they did not think, oh, this Shukdev is so young. We are seniors. We should be given the esteemed seat to sit and speak Bhagavatam. No, Shukdev Goswami was going to speak, and everybody was sitting there ready to hear from Shukdev Goswami. So, when one person speaks about the glories of Krishna, everybody else hears. So, in spiritual world, everybody is flying in their airplanes. They are also as husband and wives, but there is no desire to enjoy. All only desire is to serve Krishna. And what is the beauty there in spiritual world? Earthly woman, we see if there is some Miss World, Miss India, Miss Universe, how long their beauty lasts. But in Swarga also we know there are heavenly damsels, Urvashi, Rambha and all, and their beauty is beyond the beauty of this material world, on beauty of the woman on this earth. But then what to speak of the spiritual world damsels? The goddess of fortune, they are all nicely decorated, and they are brooming the floors which are made of pearls, and they are always being satisfied by being on the side of Lord Vishnu. So in spiritual world, these are the characteristics where every step is a dance, every word is a song, and there is always merrymaking in spiritual world. In material world, yes, people want to have fun, but nobody can have permanent fun. So Krishna is giving the glimpse of the spiritual world now. See, that spiritual world is permanent place. There is no misery there. And all these Vedantists, which describe the unmanifest and infallible, which is known to be the supreme destination, once one reaches that place, having attained that place, one never returns. And that, what is that place? Finally, Krishna says, that is my supreme abode. So far, Krishna was talking it as a third person, that yes, there is some other place which is supreme. But now finally Krishna is saying that is my supreme abode. Ye mama dham, tad dham paramam mama. So that supreme destination is my place. So no destination is higher than Krishna's abode. Paramam gatam. Krishna has used that word earlier. And tad dham paramam mama. That destination is my supreme abode. And still people are trying to make arrangements to be happy within this world. And now Krishna tells in text 22 how one can attain to that destination, to that supreme destination. And that process is by Ananya Bhakti. The supreme personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Ananya Bhakti. So somebody may tell us, please chant, chant, chant. Or when we tell other people, please chant the holy name, please chant the holy name. And people may ask, okay, what is this chanting going to give to me? You keep telling chant, 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 but is this chanting going to solve my problems? I need money. Will this chanting give me money? I need to go to India. Will this chanting buy me an airplane ticket? Okay, chanting may not be able to buy you an Air India ticket or Lufthansa ticket, but this chanting can buy you the ticket to Vaikuntha airline, to take you to Vaikuntha. Hearing Krishna Katha, remembering Krishna is like getting the visa stamped on your passport to go to spiritual world. Like we go to the embassy to get visa to a particular country. Here, What is that embassy for the spiritual world? That is chanting the holy name, hearing Krishna Katha, where you are getting the visa stamped in your passport to go to the spiritual world. Okay, that's why hearing about Krishna, remembering Krishna, chanting the name of Krishna is so important. And Srimad Bhagavatam and Gopi Geet, the most famous verse which comes is Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam kabhi bhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravana mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi grananti ye bhurida jana. So what is said there? Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam. For the souls of those suffering in this material world, your katha is like a nectar. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. And these narrations, which are sung by the learned sages, they eradicate one sinful reaction. Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam. They eradicate one sinful reaction and bestow the good fortune upon whoever hears them. And the people who are singing these glories, who are spreading this message of Godhead, they are the most munificent people. They are the most well wishers of everybody, doing the welfare activities for everyone. So Krishna has given a very easy method, that the easiest process to attain that supreme destination is by Ananya Bhakti. By unalloyed devotion, one can attain to that supreme destination. And in the next set of verses, 23 to 28, Krishna will talk about Ashtanga Yoga also, that Ashtanga Yogi can also attain the supreme destination. But the process of Bhakti Yoga is much easier to attain that destination. So we'll discuss the remaining set of verses in the next session. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai,
Jai.
the Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question, comment? Okay, no question, no comment. Then we can end it here. All right. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Ma.
Hare Krishna, Gurangi.